Country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road.
Tell me again, the stage fright? There isn't any, man.
No, I'm used to this.
Thank you so much, Ed, for doing that. I know a few people recently have been, I'm going to call it chickening out.
Yeah, discouraged.
Yeah, that's all it is. I get it. I mean, it's just 10 seconds of singing just gibberish. We do it on the site all the time. We do it at home all the time. We do it in our car all the time.
Yep. No, I'm the first to be guilty for that. I'm singing anywhere and everywhere.
Well, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you very much for making the trek. I know that I was just joking outside. We were talking about how I'm the odd man stop out of your course of your day today, right? Because you've been all over so far this morning.
Yeah. I started in Huntsville and then Port Carling down to Gravenhurst, and now I'm here.
Awesome, man. Thanks. So let me share the information. Ed Engel is here from Engel Homes. You can find him on IG under Engel Custom Homes. Their website, www.engelcustomhomes.com. His email is ed@engelcustomhomes.com. Their phone number to reach them is 705-718-1184. Yeah, I haven't had a builder in a little while. It's been a lot of union guys, a lot of trades individuals, but not a lot of custom home builders in a while. So it's good to have you.
Right on. Happy to be here, man.
No, that's great. And then let me do a quick shout out. I'm wearing Alt Labor. I'm wearing Alex's Alt Labor cap today. I'm wearing my own hoodie, but I'm wearing his cap today. So where do you want to begin, Ed?
Yeah, it's your show, man. I'm an open book.
You're young here. How young are you?
28.
28, huh?
Yep.
How is it being a 28-year-old in this business?
When
did you get it started? I know that you talked about as soon as you popped out.
I started in August 2017. So this would be our 9th year operating.
It's crazy, man. So you're like 21, 22? 20.
I just turned 20 when I opened the business, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was like that conversation?
So I dropped out of high school when I was 16. I got a gig working for a contractor in Collingwood. Great guy. His name's Steve.
What were you doing, framing or?
No, it was a lot of exterior finishing. Okay. We did lots of decks. We had a contract in a subdivision to do Fraser wood siding. So
good product.
I do like working with Fraser. Every company has their their pros and cons. Okay. I do prefer using Fraser over some of the other products. Yep. There was one, we did a house last year out of a siding brand called Timberthane, and it's a beautiful product. It's out of Bracebridge.
I'd never heard of it.
I'm pretty sure, I believe it's a cedar product.
Okay.
But the main reason why I like using them is their customer service. If there's, faulty boards, or if there's knots that are popping out, or if there's a discolor in their product, they show up and they're quick about it. They don't push it off for months. Like they're there within 7 business days.
They only sell cedar? Like they're only focusing on cedar products?
I believe their main product is cedar. They might do pine as well, but the product that I was using last year was a cedar product, and it was fantastic.
So this was the beginning of your construction career? That's where you got started working with that kind of stuff?
Yep. My old man was he was in the game as well. He was a framer. Really, he did it all, but his main scope of work was framing. And like we were saying earlier, you know how it is when you're a young man or a little boy, like you look up to
Superman.
your old man. You think that he's Superman, he's a superhero, and I wanted to be just like him. So 10 years down the road, I kind of found myself not in a situation, but in a position to take on an opportunity and start chasing that dream. And I never look back. I'm happy to be here, happy to be doing what I do and provide the services that I provide. So, back 12, 13 years ago, we were doing a lot of Fraser siding, a lot of decks, fences, shit like that.
Yeah.
And my boss, Steve, at the time, he's the guy that he showed me what hard work was. And I'm forever grateful for that. And
So this is when you were 20, 21 kind of thing?
I would have been 15, 16.
Oh, even younger.
Yeah.
And he's throwing you on the job site, and and you're. So what was the definition of hard work then? We're talking a decade ago, right? No, a little more than a decade.
Yeah, 12, 13 years it's been now.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it's like a mind over matter thing. You know, like you push yourself to a certain limit, and you get fatigued, or like you get that mental block. It's like, okay, I got to stop, or I got to go home, or something like that. But he was a hard ass guy. He's probably still is a hard ass guy. But he really taught me how to push through that and to keep my eye on the prize. In my opinion, his perspective on the job site was it's not a job, it's a mission to get this done, right? So,
I've heard that before, where it's like it's not a job, it's a fucking adventure.
Yeah.
Like it's an adventure, right?
Yeah.
And if you got that mindset, then it becomes different at that
Well,
point.
and he was ex-military, so I think he brought his military background into structuring his business, and
Which
I think
is a plus.
it was a really benefit. Like it did nothing but positive things for me. Again, it taught me hard work and determination, and I don't think I'd be where I am today if it wasn't for his mentorship.
Did he ever, I'm just curious because I don't think I've ever asked a service person this they are very good, a lot like farm people and farm offspring, right? They're
Yep.
very good at navigating tasks and organizing tasks and doing, the business and running the actual skills part of the business.
Yep.
But did he ever teach you any ways or any unique ways to speak with clients on how to navigate those waters? Because that's still part of the business, right?
Yeah, no. He was a more of a behind the scenes guy.
Okay.
He did take the lead, if we were pouring footings or like digging for fence holes or something like that. He was kind of the driving force. But when it came to the actual carpentry tasks, he had multiple crews to take care of those. So I worked under a guy named Tim. He taught me a lot of stuff. I value, every ounce of knowledge that he provided me. And he's great guy, great carpenter. And, after 3 years of working under him, it kind of just turned into me getting my own guys and getting my own jobs and eventually running a crew, under this company. And did that for a couple of years and ended up going out on my own.
I'm curious, Ed, like when you're a kid at that age and you tell yourself, okay, or you kind of are persuaded to go down this route of getting into the construction industry and working these skills, right? Physical job. Was it the same when you got on site as you thought it was when you pictured it before you did it?
As a company owner?
Or just as both, as just starting out as a kid in your teenage years and then as an owner, you must have had some insight coming from your dad or coming from other older mentors of yours.
Yep.
They kind of give you some insight on what this is all about, but now you are physically there now. You're doing it, you're experiencing it for the first time. Was the picture the same or was it out of focus, so to speak, right?
No, it was the same. My dad
Oh,
was
really?
He was a hard ass.
He was very clear about how it, yeah?
Yeah. Well, and he brought me to his job sites. I think the first
So
time
you
was
saw it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like he brought that mentality home. To a certain
With chores
extent,
and stuff
with
yeah.
chores and like if we're not doing what we're told, or maybe we're giving some back talk to mom or something, like my dad was on us. He was a hard
I'd love to
ass,
see a logo like that, eh?
Yeah. Engel Custom Homes.
That would be a good logo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe I'll change
I think these
mine.
guys get it done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, not saying you beat your employees. I'm just saying it's just a logo, everyone. That's all it is.
You know what?
But it was good that perception of what the industry and the work was all about.
Mm-hmm.
You were in line with it, right? You weren't shocked and like, I thought this was like going to be easier. This is simpler. I don't understand how difficult this is.
No.
When that wasn't the case. That's not what you were looking to achieve either. You weren't looking for easy.
No.
You can't learn from easy.
Yeah, no. You don't learn in your comfort zone. And,
Yeah.
you know that.
Yeah.
And, I've learned that. But you know what? And I like to think that I'm different. I am a hard ass. I'm particular, like if the details aren't being met, if like the quality's not there, I get frustrated. I might, you know, I might not lash out, but I get mad. You
What's
know,
the world of stuff that's going through your head when you're leaving? I guess this is when you're leaving it for certain people on
Yep.
that to do it. Like, are you just scrambling through all the? I don't understand how this is not working out. Why isn't this working out? I could have done this. I could have taken care of this.
I think it all comes down to like the owners or the leaders in the business. Like you know, any shortcomings or any failures, like I don't point the finger at anybody but myself. It all starts with me. It's my business. It's my name on the T-shirts. It's my name on the paychecks. And you know, I look at where I went wrong. I'm not. There's no shortcoming in the last 9 years in business that hasn't been my fault. Maybe the guys weren't qualified to be left alone at that time, or maybe I've taken on too many projects and I spread myself too thin, and I was relying on the bodies that I had, but maybe they didn't have the skill. You know what I mean? I look at myself. I don't try and pass the blame off. And where's that going to get me? I'm not going to learn from it if it's never my fault.
No.
I'm not going to make the adjustments I need to have a successful project.
But then you also have solutions for them too, right?
Yep.
So you want to implement the solutions as quickly as possible, so then we can solve the problem, move on.
Yep.
Guess what? Because there's going to be another problem coming.
Oh yeah,
right around the corner.
Yep, that's entrepreneurship. There's always something to be dealt with. But you know, I again, like when it comes down to how did this happen, why did this happen? Maybe it was my instruction. You know, maybe I failed to give clear instruction. The guy's very capable of doing the job.
Yeah.
But I look at myself first. Where did I go wrong? What did I do to get this outcome, and what can I do differently in the future, right? Progression's my profession, you know, and I definitely don't want to, you know, relive those shortcomings and those failures, right? So I do everything I can to adjust, and a lot of the time you got to do it on the fly too, right? Okay,
that's construction.
This is what happened.
Yeah,
there's, you know, somebody fucked up, whether it was me or him or whoever. How are we going to make this right?
I thought a good crew, when you have a construction solid crew and a business running, when we do everything right, everything's great, and everyone's wondering, like, okay, we did a great job. We all pat each other on the back.
Yep.
When one of us fucks up, we kind of collectively solve that problem.
Yep.
If we just point the finger at one individual, then that's not the crew that you want, right?
No.
You can't solve the problem if you just point at one.
Well, to be honest with you, Manny, like I've cleaned house a couple of times. You know, it's just whether it's guys, you know, maybe they've got personal problems at home. They can't give me the focus that I require for my business to level up. Or, you know, maybe they've got some sort of substance abuse or like whatever it is. And you know how it is in the trades. It's more than less. But you know, the guys that I got supporting me now, they're great.
How long they been with you now?
I've had one guy, he's worked on and off for me for about 9 years.
Okay. Where's he go when he's not working with you?
He's you know what? He's been all over.
He's just a traveler. He just wants to go to different places, or he just.
You know what? I think the first time around, I was telling you earlier, I worked for an umbrella company, and we did strictly framing, and the contracts ran dry, and you know, I ended up coming down working in Brampton for a couple of years.
That's a bit of a commute.
He didn't want to commute from Owen Sound,
which
so
makes sense.
No hard feelings, no problem. And then a few years down the road, hey, I've got work in the area. He needs work, so he comes back.
Okay, that's why it was that's how it was all set up.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Right?
But now I've got guys in the Simcoe area, and then I've got guys up north, and I try and keep them within an hour. You know, give or take. Sometimes they're driving an hour and 20 or whatever. But and then I've got another new guy. His name's Brody. Great carpenter. Great personality. Great problem solver. And he's done nothing but impress me since day one. He, you know, from
younger than you?
No, he's older.
Okay.
I think he's 33 or 34, a few years older, but he's a fantastic carpenter. Everything from framing to finish. He's very particular, and if he feels like he can do better, it's coming out, and he's going to provide his best. And that's something that I really value. And it's a good selling point for me. When I'm chatting with my clients or, whatever, like we provide our best, not good enough, not the industry standard. We provide our best. Right. And, Brody's a guy that stands behind
he lives
those
that.
values.
He's part of that valor. Yeah. Okay. I get it.
He's very prideful in what he does, and he's passionate about it, and he's a positive guy, and he's done nothing but earn my trust since day one with the trade, and all around great guy. But
Attention subcontractors and skilled trades. Are you looking for your next big opportunity? 2x2 Construction is expanding and is on the hunt to grow our top-tier network of professionals. Whether you're a carpenter, plumber, or roofer, etc., if you can deliver top-quality craftsmanship, offer competitive pricing, and your communication is where we shine, we want to hear from you. At 2x2 Construction, we value strong partnerships. From multiplexes to garden suites, we're all about building better together, and we want you to be a part of it. Reach out today at info@2x2construction.ca or connect with us on Instagram at 2x2construction. Join the 2x2 Construction team where great work meets great people. This message is proudly supported by the Construction Life. How's business for you, Ed? Like, are we're in a turning point here because I have a lot of conversations with a lot of people, and some people are not working, some people are working, some people are. This morning I was chatting with somebody and he was like, "This is crazy, man. I just booked 2 additions on homes that are starting at 600, and realistically by the time we finish everything and we get the permit, it's probably going to end up closer to 800 or 900 to do this addition."
Yep.
And he's like, they only want me to do it. And then so like, I don't even know how I'm going to be taking care of this, because the problem is that's job number 7, job number 8 going on, and he's rolling out of the gate. And I'm like, okay, so how is he so crazy busy? And then other people, I haven't worked in a month. Like, how's it going up for you guys about that area there? Is it busy for you? Everybody there enough?
It definitely got slow. I would say, December and January were a bit slow.
But generally up in, the northern part,
it is.
It's a little slower, right?
Yeah. But it was like crickets, it
was really bad.
Yeah. Like I had, for a few weeks, I had the guys working, just supporting another contractor, and just to keep them busy. I don't want to lose the guys, right?
Yeah.
But now it seems like I've got over 30 jobs in the pipeline. We've got
good for you.
2 GC jobs on the go right now. We've got 1 framing and exterior. It's a compound. It's 2 cottages, 2 boathouses, and a garage. So we're doing that over the next couple of years.
Are you guys grateful? Like, I'm just curious. Some are going through hard times, right? Yep. And I'm just curious. Do you catch yourself, or do you catch the crew understanding that, you know what, we got work, man. We're outside. We're doing well. We're providing. Do you guys catch yourself appreciating that grateful moment?
I do. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit worried earlier this year. I was fortunate enough to have some people to lean on to keep my valued guys busy. But now I'm grateful for every bit of it. It's like I said, we've got lots of things coming down the pipeline. We've got 3 projects plus my own build on the go.
Your own personal build?
Yeah. We just got occupancy last week. Are you
gonna make all the mistakes that we all make when we do that?
Pardon me?
Are you gonna make all the mistakes that we do when we do that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be doing it right if I wasn't making the mistakes. I've always met
everybody that does it, and then I just watch them make the exact same mistakes that everybody does, man. Yep. Even though we tell ourselves, okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to save money here. We're going to save money there. And then you just make mistake after mistake after mistake. You
know what, man? I was very cost effective with it.
Good.
I'm surprised I did it for as cheap as I did it. And it's not a traditional stick framed home. Like, we did hemlock timber, it's a true timber frame.
Oh, wow.
8x8, and then there's no metal connectors. It's all notched into beams. Like, it's a true timber frame.
Where'd you get it from? Out west?
West Virginia, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
More cost effective?
Yes. Yeah, it was.
Really?
I think it was like $15,000 to $20,000 cheaper for the lumber.
That is very interesting to hear that. That's actually good to hear that.
Yep.
But that would have been when? When did you start that?
June last year.
Okay, no, you're probably lucky, huh?
Oh yeah,
It would have been a shit show if you started this year.
yeah, with all the politics,
all the bullshit,
and whatnot
right?
going on.
It would have been probably a different. It probably would have been on the other side of the radar, an
Yep.
extra 10, 20 or so.
Yep, at least, yeah.
You're lucky. I must be beautiful though.
Yeah, no, it definitely turned out like it looks like it's an 80-year-old home, but it's 8 months old.
I
You know,
love that.
it's really cool. All the beams on the main floor are exposed. I did like a pine tongue and groove subfloor, and then we laid 5/8 plywood on top of it.
So you still see all the pine from underneath
yeah,
it?
yeah. You see all the timbers, you see all the pines. I'll show you. I'll show
That's
you after.
beautiful. Yeah,
It's,
yeah, that's beautiful, man. I already know it is beautiful, man.
Yeah, thank
How
you.
is it to work for the city on that? Are they as appreciative, or are they a little bit of stickler regarding the rules and regs on those ones, right? Because it's not traditional, right?
No, the township where I built, I'm just north of Perry Sound.
Okay.
They are one of the best building departments I've worked with.
They get it.
In the last 10 years.
Okay.
They're very, I wouldn't say they're slack, but they're easygoing. They're easy to work with versus maybe other municipalities aren't.
Toronto.
You know what? I've never pulled a permit in Toronto.
Yeah.
Maybe I will one day, but as of right now, we're trying to stick to Simcoe and Muskoka, and
Well, it's good to hear that
Yeah.
the department is understandable about how this works in the real world.
Yep.
In their area, right?
yeah. No, I find up north like Huntsville, Carling Township where I am, and then Gravenhurst, like they're fantastic. I think that they're spread a little bit thin. I know they contract their work out to, I believe the company is called RMC out of Toronto.
Okay.
But they do a lot of like virtual inspections, so they don't physically show up on site.
What is that?
It's like a FaceTime.
Really?
And then you show them your framing, you show them the plumbing, you make sure that the test is on, and they check their pressure tests and whatnot. It is interesting. I've only done 2 of them.
Is that a good or bad thing? I'm trying to ask myself that, if that's a good or bad thing.
I think it depends on the person that's holding the camera. You know, if you're going to try and be sneaky and get away with some stuff, then maybe you don't point the camera in that corner or something. You know what I
I'd
mean?
probably call
Like,
over the 90-year-old laborer to come over and hold the camera for me.
Yeah. Yeah, just shaking.
Yep, we're past. We're good. All right,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Yeah. Well,
It's different, but I guess it makes sense because of the travel and trying to get the individual physically there.
Yep.
And there's one site that's your site, and then the next site might be so much further away that it makes sense to do this digitally speaking.
Yeah. Well, Muskoka's cut into, I think it's like 8 or 9 districts. So
Okay.
like Gravenhurst is different than Bracebridge, which is different than Huntsville. Like
Yeah,
they all
yeah.
have their own different department.
Yeah.
Kind of like Simcoe County, I guess. They've got like Clearview, they've got Collingwood, so like there's different counties, but they call them districts.
Has it been getting busy up there?
Pardon me?
Has it been getting busy, like population-wise, more and more people moving up that way?
I think they're secondary homes, or their
Mostly?
third or their 7th home. I moved up there about a year ago.
Coming from?
Creemore.
Okay.
Yeah, 20 minutes south of Collingwood.
Yeah.
I moved up there. I took a job in Port Carling in 2022. It was a 4-week job, and it just seemed like I couldn't get out of Muskoka. Not that it's a bad place to be, but I went up there, took on this job through a friend of a friend kind of thing, and to frame like a big hand cut roof, and I just kept getting calls. So after commuting up there for the rest of 2022, all of 2023. When I came back from vacation, 2024, I was like, you know what? I've spent, $60,000 in the last 2 years on fuel. I've put $250,000 on my truck, so it's just going to be cheaper for me to actually move up there and commute down south when I have to.
If I was ever fortunate enough to actually build something like similar to what you built there, or even your own personal place, and I was the client or what have you, I would just disconnect from society, grab a lawn chair and sit there and just watch all the hand cut framing
Yep.
hand cut everything, and I'd be like, this is my program for the next little while. I wouldn't be that hovering over the shoulder kind of client. I would just be watching it because of the respect for the tradespeople that are doing everything.
Yep.
Especially if they're highly skilled and they know what they're doing, where it's not like, it was interesting. I was having breakfast in a place recently, and all of a sudden I looked up and it was all, engineered trusses sitting on a beam, and it was just, it looked like crap in my opinion. And that was the structure component of it. But then if you're building something like that and someone's trying to figure out the compound miters and everything's it's all hand, like skill, craftsmanship. I'd just be sitting there on the lawn chair, man, just watching it going, this is amazing.
Coffee and a stogie, and you're good to go.
I'd be bringing the guys every so often and just chilling out. And I'm like, thank you guys, without saying thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I would be looking at it, going, like, this is amazing. Like, there's young people that know how to do this and take a lot of pride in doing this.
Yep. You know what?
Respectful.
It's been a while. I don't think I've touched a truss in 3 years. It's been all hand cut roofs. And I prefer it. It's
Good for you, man.
There's more challenges, of course. Like you're not just slapping up like all the fun's been taken out of the trusses. Like you got your overframes
Like
and framing your hips.
you're just dropping them and then like
but
yeah.
After getting through my first few full house hand cuts, I preferred it. It's I don't know.
Educated clients, I think, prefer it too.
Yep. And there's pros and cons to both. Like I find if they want those vaulted or cathedral ceilings on the second floor, like they're, chances are you're gonna have a hot roof. You might not get the venting that you want over top of the insulation, but that's really about it. But I've seen the con side of the hand cuts and the, you spray foam the ceiling rafters in and you drywall on top of that. You do see like maybe bubbling shingles or kind of shit like that, right? But I think there's more cons with trusses. The quality of them.
See, I still am respectful of spray foam, but if I'm going hand cut and I'm doing timber and all kinds of stuff like that, I think I'm going to be leaning towards doing bats or something. I would still be doing old and new school a certain way. It'd be a balancing act, so then I'm conscious of the cause and effect of everything that you're doing, right? And I definitely, in that situation, I'd have a building consultant envelope person with me the whole time. Trying to explain, okay, you guys went to school, you've got the seal, you tell me what's the best solution here, and I'll work with you guys on that same problem solving portion of it, right? So then you wouldn't have those problems later on, because now you're creating a structure that was built like the old time, but it was built for the new time, right?
Yep, exactly. Yep. Well, I think in the old time too, like I've done some, renovations on some old farmhouses and whatnot, but it seems like their hand cut roofs, they're still flat ceilings, so they still have that area for airflow to come up, and whether they're vented right or not,
it still
chances
works.
are they're not.
Well, the structure itself breathes right anyway, so it doesn't matter that you're circulating that air in the attic space, but you're right. And then when you get new people coming in there, they don't want, in all fairness, like in my day, I've been creative enough to figure out how to make 8-foot high ceilings feel and look larger, taller. There's ways of doing it. But for the most part, when you start getting structures like that, people want just vault. The word vault comes in, which opens up literally, a bunch of building envelope can of worms. You have to figure out how to tackle a vault, right? And so it's not as easy as just saying the word vault and we just get all this extra space in the great room, right? You have to tackle it a certain way.
Well, I think that there's, depending on the scenario, I think a truss might be a better outcome.
I
you
totally
can
agree.
still get a vaulted ceiling with your scissor trusses, and you can get the R value and you can get the airflow. But it really all depends. Like we did a big, like modern farmhouse in I think 2020. It's like 8,000 square feet. It was huge.
For a family of two?
No, family of 6. It was great family. Nice people. Definitely some challenges navigating a big project like that, but overall, I would say it was a success.
Was that the biggest one for you at the time?
The biggest single dwelling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I think we've done like 20,000 square foot townhome blocks. But as far as like a single home, yeah, that'd be the big one.
Huge,
Biggest one for now.
8,000 on the main floor alone?
Main floor, second floor, and then
Plus the
there's-
basement?
plus the basement, and I think a 2,000 square foot garage on top of that, maybe 1,500 square feet. But
People need a little bit of space.
oh yeah. Hey, well, my place is 1,500 square feet. It's big enough. It's big enough for me and the girlfriend, and I got a baby on the way. I'll be
Good.
dad
Congrats,
in 2 months.
man.
So
Yeah.
thank
This
you.
year?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 months, 2.5 months, give or take. I'll be an old man, and yeah, really looking forward to it. But yeah, 1,500 square feet is enough for me. It's enough to
1,500
clean.
It's big, man.
Yeah.
It's big, 1,500 square feet, right?
Yeah.
If it's done correctly, it's big.
Yeah.
All right. Consider Expert Plumbing and Drains. When it comes to plumbing, you need someone who's not just skilled, but truly cares about the job they do. Someone like Aaron Bolin and his team at Expert Plumbing and Drains. Aaron has been in the trade for years, and he's built his reputation on one thing: commitment. Commitment to his craft, his crew, and most importantly to you, the client. At Expert Plumbing and Drains, it's not just fixing pipes, it's about delivering the best possible service every single time on every single project. So whether you're dealing with a leaky faucet, a stubborn drain, or planning a full plumbing overhaul, Aaron and his team are ready to tackle it all with skill, integrity, and a passion for excellence. Need help now? Call Expert Plumbing and Drains at 905-531-4111. That's 905-531-4111. Or visit them at www.expertplumbinganddrains.com and on social media at Expert Plumbing and Drains Canada. Experience the difference of working with a team that's dedicated to getting the job done right. Because at Expert Plumbing and Drains, your satisfaction is their top priority. You can also email Aaron directly at aaron@expertplumbinganddrains.com. Expert Plumbing and Drains, where expertise meets care. This message is proudly supported by the Construction Life. The crew, is it mostly young? Or are they like, who's the oldest on your crew?
Brody. He's like he's
So he's in his 30s, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and the youngest would be who?
I think I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest.
Yeah, I think so. No, I got a guy that's a year younger than me as well.
You ever get clients that, you sell the job,
Yep.
you're there walking them through the process. Do they ever talk to you about age? Like your experience?
Oh yeah,
it comes up a lot?
in the last.
Really?
But the first 5 years,
can imagine.
every client, every contractor
They brought it up.
Well, you're young, and it wasn't like hey, there's a distrust because of your age, but it was just kind
A
of
talking point.
Pardon me.
It was a talking
Yeah,
point.
yeah. Hey, how old are you? You're a little young to be running a contracting business, right? Now I think that I've established myself a little bit more. It's put on the back burner, but it still comes up.
It still comes up.
And I'm happy. I'd rather be 28 than 38. It's I'm looking forward to growing up and to the new life that I've got coming my way. But I'm never going to get my youth back, and yeah, I'd rather be the young guy on site than the middle age or the older. So I take it lightly. I don't take it to heart. I don't take anything to heart. It's yeah.
No, it's a conversation. I wouldn't take it negatively or anything like that. It's just they have every right to bring that up. But then if your proof's in the pudding, you bring in the skill set, you're bringing the right people to the table, then you know what I mean? At some point in your construction career, you're going to get to like Matthew McConaughey and Dazed and Confused, where he's like, I keep getting older and they keep saying the same age, right?
Yeah.
Those are going to be your clients, right? And it's just funny how I know much older GCs and they kept on getting older and their clients kept on getting younger and younger.
Yep.
But at some point they crossed paths, right? They were at the same age. And that's what's going to happen to you, that you're going to start working with some people in their early 30s. Mm-hmm. If it's already happening. I bet you any money it is already happening.
I've got one client right now.
Same age group,
I
right?
think they might be 2 or 3 years older than me, but
there's got to be a level of comfort there for them to be working with you at that age, or no?
I would say their comfort comes from me being a referral. I was referred by somebody that they trust. So I think that's their primary comfort zone. To be honest, I haven't met the clients.
Everything's digitally?
Everything's over the phone or over an email, and
wow.
We pulled trigger, and haven't met them today.
You never met them at all before pulling the trigger?
Nope.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, I do have a few clients. I have one client like this client we're talking about now, but I've probably had 3 or 4 clients that I've never met, and we've done, $250,000-$350,000 of work on their home.
They just are not around?
No, not around. They've got property managers, or they live out of country, or they're gone for the winter or something like that. But yeah,
they never asked you to do the site Skype or Zoom and walking around, and
no, they trust their property managers.
So they're getting all their feedback from them, and they come by, and
I shoot them pictures, I shoot them videos, but I haven't shook their hand.
It makes sense because they're of a certain net worth that they're doing their business, they're earning their dollars, and they don't have the time. They've hired someone that they trust. Go do your job. Go take care of everything for us, right? And then we'll come back, and when it's done, we'll enjoy it. Thank you very much. That's when you probably meet them, right?
I've had some clients too where maybe I haven't met them in the construction process, but afterwards, hey, I'm back in the country. Come over and have a pop,
nice.
Whatever. But
yeah. Pop, not
a
pot.
beer. Yeah, no, not pot. No, I don't think any of my clients are smoking that. But my days of doing that is long over.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I just be like, I could see a client at some point saying or suggesting or whatever, right? It doesn't matter. But they hired you. The point is they hired you confidently, so they trust you. So then now you got to take care of what you got to take care of. Simple as that, right?
Exactly. Yep.
You built up a reputation that the name gets around at that point. That's the referral, right?
Exactly.
Majority of your stuff is referral?
Yeah, I'd say about 90% is referral.
Where's the other 10 coming from? Like, are you doing any kind of
Instagram? No promoting.
Really? So just strangers from social media reaching out to you?
Yep.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, I've had a couple full builds come through Instagram. I think I've like 2. Just that's it. I've had other, like we support other builders a lot too. Like I probably do 3 or 4 GC jobs a year, whether it's a big renovation or it's a new build, but we do a lot of framing and exterior packages for other contractors as well. And I'm happy to do that. That's my bread and butter. But yeah, I've had some contractors reach out over Instagram or Facebook and, hey, you can frame a house for me. No problem. Happy to do it.
Do you know Greg from Generations?
I don't think I
think he's up there by you. Gravenhurst, I think he's up there. Generations Construction.
No, I don't.
Okay. I don't know. I thought, because you mentioned Gravenhurst, and I was like, I know that he's up in that. I got to ask him, but I'm pretty sure he's up in that area as well, too. He moved there. He was coming from down here.
Yep.
Oakville, Mississauga area. And then I think he bought a house up there, and then he's moved up there. So
yeah, if you're working up there, it makes sense. I mean, I drove down to Mississauga and Steeles for 2 years. It's not as far as Oakville, but
yeah, he's still doing work down here, but he's also doing work up there. And the commute's a little bit of a grind sometimes, but these days you go where the work.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Well, even if you move up to Muskoka, it doesn't mean that there's no commute. Sometimes you drive an hour and 20 just to get to the other side of Muskoka.
Yeah.
So it's the same as driving from Barrie to Toronto or Barrie to Brampton or Oakville or whatever, Creemore to Brampton. Like it's all the same. But
would you be doing anything else, Ed, if you weren't doing this?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Or was this like this was the butterfly effect? It doesn't matter what you kept on trying to change. This was always going to be it.
As a career?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
What? So I used to play in a band.
Okay, cool.
We recorded an album. We did a couple tours.
Tours? Yeah. Canada, or did you get outside of Canada?
We got outside of Canada a bit too, into the States. But,
what was the name of the band?
High 75. Yeah, we did. We ran with that for a few years.
What were you playing?
Guitar.
No vocals.
No, no vocals. Or if I was doing vocals, my mic was off. But the
guys never said anything. That's all.
No.
That's good, man. How far back are we talking about here?
You know what? I think we disbanded when I was 19, so I was already into the trade.
Oh, okay.
But when I was young, like my dad played bass, and the superhero effect. I either wanted to be a rock star,
holy cow,
or I wanted to build houses.
Construction, yeah.
But no in between. Yeah. I've always admired like heavy equipment, like big 100-ton cranes or like the big excavators or kind of stuff like that. But with my dad being a carpenter, and me falling in love with the trade and what he did, I don't really see myself doing anything else.
It's a good answer. No, I'm just curious about it, because sometimes you wonder as you get older, if I didn't go left, if I went right, or what have you, right? Like what would have changed, kind of thing, right? But a lot of people have that passion for construction, that this is my path, this is where I'm headed.
I think, like, I've had thoughts about, like, hey, maybe I'd be a good salesperson. Selling what? I don't know. But, like, it's...
They're a unique breed, man, salespeople, yeah.
Well, and I think that there's, I don't have a great poker face. I don't have, I think there's some things that I lack to really excel in that field. But, I've had thoughts here and there. It's like, oh, well, maybe I'd be better not be better, but like maybe had I gone this way, I could have done this or could have done that or whatever. But I would say most of the time, especially on the good days, I don't look back. I wouldn't change anything. Even on the bad days, I wouldn't change anything. It's
you learn from the bad days. You learn
on the bad days.
Yeah, you totally learn.
As long as you don't forget about those bad days, then it makes the good days better, right?
You don't forget, because the bad day just rears his head again. On another bad day.
Yeah, well, you'll learn that lesson again if you forget it.
Yeah, that's the point of it. Heavy machinery wise, what's your favorite? Because I know there's a lot of bullshit going on, too many computers going on in these machines and crap like that. You guys used to be able to tinker with them in the field, and now it's like a different story, right?
I like the older JLGs or Genies, telehandlers. Diachi is I think it's an Italian brand. Diachi or Dici or something like that. The old contractor I worked for had a few of those, and they're a great machine. But they didn't give you like an instruction manual in English. It was Italian. I know.
So you learned Italian, right?
No, I did not learn Italian. Okay. But I remember we had to get them maintenance, and it took them like 6 or 8 weeks to get them out of the shop because there was no manuals that were in English. It all had to be translated.
Nobody knew anybody that spoke Italian?
No, not
or read
there,
Italian.
Anyway. Yeah, not
you probably would have found someone who spoke, but they didn't read.
Yeah, well, in where they were getting service in Creemore, I mean, you'd be lucky if half the population there could speak fluent English. Yeah, there's we got our own thing going on up there.
I've never been up there. I got to get up there, man. Check it out.
It's a nice place. I mean, growing up in Creemore is definitely. There's nothing to do. Like I skateboarded and mountain biked and snowboarded, but as far as having fun in town, you just kind of get yourself into trouble. But it's a safe place. It's a quiet place to grow and raise your family. But long term, it got too much. It's like a bubble outside of society and what's actually going on in the world. That small town effect, like, everybody complains about it, but nobody leaves. I ended up leaving. I love going back and visiting, but if I'm there I'm there for 3 nights or 4 nights working on a job with my guys down there. It gets, it's, I wouldn't say it's frustrating, but it's, I remember why I don't live there anymore. It's just, it's the same shit, it's looked the same for 20 years, the same people. You pass by the same people. They're just getting older. I'm getting older. And
Matthew McConaughey.
Right.
It just happens, right? You pay attention to it. You get clients when, I guess, they bring in their modernized sensibility to certain traditional projects, and there's almost like a slight conflict going on in the design process. Mm-hmm. You get that a lot? Does that happen on projects?
Only recently have we actually started to work with clients to design and plan out their builds. Okay. In the past, when I first took on like full build scope of work, I would say, go find your own architect and engineer and come back to me with plans and I'll quote it then.
Yep.
But now I work with 2 architects and 2 engineers, and I'll sit down and work with a client or homeowner to get their vision on paper. In the past, I wanted to be on the tools, or I wanted to work on my business and not work on their dream. And I think, like, I've definitely lost some jobs or lost some bids because I didn't want to have that patience or to be a resource to help them get everything onto paper. I just wanted to be a builder.
But that's technically the architect and designer's job.
Yep.
It's not your job.
But there's a lot of clients, or in my opinion, in my experience, I have clients that say, hey, we want a builder and we want you to, plan, design, build, and then construct the project, right?
Introducing Alt Labor Solutions, the game changer for contractors and laborers. Are you a contractor needing skilled labor, or have labor in need of quick shifts? Or how about buying, selling, or renting tools, material, and equipment? Connect easily with contractors and find resources hassle-free through Alt Labor Solutions online platform. Post job listings with project details, browse public resumes, and choose the right person for the job. Explore their job board for new opportunities and connect with top talent. Alt Labor Solutions revolutionizes the labor industry with a user-friendly interface, secure payments, and a supportive team. Visit them at altlaborsolutions.com and start connecting with other contractors today. This message is proudly supported by the Construction Life. Well, they're smart enough to be asking you first, right? Because I've always joked about the ABCs of construction, right? Where it's like architect, builder, and then construction. And I've always said that it should be the BACs, which is the builder first and then architect and then construction, right? But so they're smart enough to want you first, so the B, but then they have to still get somebody else to take care of the architect and design portion of it before it comes back to you to do the construction part of it, right? Yep. I can see why and I was the same way too. It's like that's my wheelhouse. I was more interested and I can be most efficient there. I can play that part. I can do that portion of it, but I don't want to do that. I want to focus on here. This is where I'm good. This is where the skills are, right? Yep. But clients they didn't want that. Because they trusted you enough. Is that the reason why?
I wouldn't even say that they trusted me enough. I just think that's, they really wanted, like, for lack of better words, like somebody to hold their hand a little bit more into, hey, like, this guy's been involved since day one, since before drawings existed or whatever it is. And I also think it, like, shooing people away because of that, it doesn't build a relationship. Whereas actually, taking on not that responsibility, but like putting in your 2 cents to get their vision and their dream onto a piece of paper really builds like the foundation of a good relationship too, right? And I've started looking at it like that. I don't want it to be a transaction. I want to actually build and kind of maintain a relationship with a client, because it makes the shittier days, or when something comes up and it doesn't go our way, we tackle it together instead of, they're pointing fingers at me or I'm pointing fingers at them, or there's the designer that missed this. You know what I mean? So it's, I'm looking at it from a bigger picture now. Yeah. There's been situations where, they've done what I've requested. Hey, go get your drawings done so that I can give you a number. And we start constructing and it's like, okay, well, this doesn't work. This roof line doesn't work. This roof line doesn't add up with this roof line. And now our fascia's a foot higher. You know what I mean? So like, there's always interior finishes are clashing, and it doesn't sound, or it doesn't look the way that they envisioned it or whatever. And now, is it my tile guy? Is it my my hardwood floor installer? Is it the builder that was lacking?
And you're the go-to person now, so they're always connecting you to everything that's unfolding right in front of them, right? Which isn't. I've got a suggestion where you can maybe suggest to the clients, if they want to do that, you can just go, sure, I have no problem doing that. My hourly rate is this.
Well, and that's what it was. I felt like I wasn't able to charge for that in the past, but in the last couple of years, I said, hey, if you want me to be that guy, this is a pre-construction cost. Yeah. And I need to be compensated for it. And nothing is for free. I don't know if I have the build. I don't know if it's a project I want to take on, so it.
How do they receive that? How do they?
Sometimes they say, well, we'll see you later. You know, maybe we'll get the plans done and send them to you. Maybe we won't. And there's other clients that are like, absolutely. You know, we don't expect you to work for free. We don't want you to work for free.
Of course, good.
I do have some conversations where, you know, there is a bit of pushback. It's like, oh, well, hey, this is a 7-figure job. If you get it, you'll be rewarded then. But I don't play in the world of if, ands, or whatever. You know, this is the reality of it.
What are you, like, looking over their shoulder for carrots? Like, I don't understand why they want to do that.
Well, I know especially in times like today,
but they shouldn't be doing that.
No, and you don't want to work for clients like that either, right? It's well, hey, maybe you'll get compensated for it down the road. Well,
I want clients to understand that there's certain triggering points. Like, I mean, you if everything's going well and you met somebody and they're a referral and you feel great, you've been cyber stalking them online about their work and everything like that. Yep. And so you've checked all the boxes, and in their eyes, they like you and they want to work with you. But all of a sudden, if they start dropping a little bomb like that, like, okay, dangling a carrot that if you do really well, then I'll give you a bonus later on or some shit like that.
Yep.
That's like a point where you start looking at them going, okay, you should never have said that, because now that starts to create a little bit of friction between me and you and this project, right?
Yep.
I'd be a little nervous about moving forward after someone's even if they do it in passing, where it's like a slight joke or something like that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If you don't value somebody's time, then, or if, especially when it comes to trades, you know, like
it's the stigma of construction that I'm trying to get at, right? Where it's everybody always puts construction players in the same fucking shoebox.
Yep.
Right? It's like they're not as valuable as every other career option, a doctor, a lawyer, or what have you, right? And I'm like, I disagree with you. They're just as valuable because they know how to do a bunch of things that you don't know how to do, and they're professional about it too. Are there shady people in this industry? Yes. Are there shady people in other industries? 100% yes.
And there's shady homeowners or shady clients, exactly. You know. But if
you've checked all the boxes and this person's great, and I get along with Ed, and I've seen some of his crews, I've been to his job sites while he's in progress, everything's fucking great, and all of a sudden you just take this little jab. I'm like, dude, you're kind of putting me on guard now, right? I got to be careful. I got to watch out for myself. I'm not interested in being screwed over, and I'm not interested in screwing you over. Yep. But you just hinted at the possibility of you screwing me over.
Oh, and it's not Engel Custom Charity. It's Engel Custom Homes, and we're in business to 100%. Make money.
Maybe one day it will be a charity, but at that point...
Well, and I do charity work. I we're fundraising right now to do an extension of a women's shelter in Alliston.
It's amazing.
You know, and like, I donate my time as a project manager, as a site supervisor. My labor costs are covered, material costs is covered, you know, but... you know, we're trying to be as cost effective as we can and give back to the community. Good. But I don't donate to the upper class, not out of spite, not out of any other reason.
That's not the reason.
I'm a business. You know, I'm not. I don't do free work, and I don't sit down and do pre-construction for free. There's a fee for that. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
I got a little heartwarming story about a charity. I have a particular individual, an older gentleman of mine who's a mentor friend, and he's helps out quite a bit, and his whole family's all about keeping it quiet. They don't want the attention. They've done well, and they like helping out. And then he was introduced to somebody, and just by fate, he was in a particular small town, came across an area. It was a youth drug kind of house that's helping out kids trying to get off of drugs and everything like that. So then he was introduced to them, and they saw that they were struggling to just maintain this place and keep it up and all kinds of stuff. So then he was having a conversation with the people that were there that were volunteering to be there to help out with youth, trying to get them to kick off, right? So it was like they would come in at a certain time so they can spend the night and have a bed and not be on the streets at night, right? But then they would kick them out in the morning, so they had to go look for work or what have you, right? But the whole point was to try to get them off of the dependency of drugs, right?
Sure.
And it was working, it was helping. So then he gets invited in, he walks in, and he sees that they're struggling financially to try to maintain this and just keep it going, right? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, he just asks him, what do you guys need? And then the one woman there, she just said, well, we've got a list, right? So then she pulls out this little handwritten list, and there was a bunch of items, just mostly office admin, stationary items, things that just keep the wheels turning.
Sure, yeah, keep them greased.
So then he grabs the list, and all of a sudden he goes, okay, great, no problem. I'll see you later. He leaves and he buys everything on the list. Packages, puts it in the back of his car, brings it back, gives them to them, right? And they're so grateful, right? So then he kept an eye on them, kept on, passing by and checking them out and everything like that. And every time he came back in, and they're like, then they told him the week after when he came back in, I want you to realize that Friday that you came in and helped us out, and we're very grateful that you fulfilled this list. And it was like small items. He was like $3,000 worth of stuff, right? Yep. And he goes, we were going to close down on Monday. We didn't have enough to even carry the following week, right? But now we've got a little bit more that we can carry from. We continue for a little bit more. So then he asked them, what do you guys really need? And he go, we need a bigger house, a better house. We need some renovations done or something like that, right?
Sure.
And he just said, why didn't you put that on the list? And that's exactly what he did. They put it on the list, and then he took care of that. And so it was just a really nice story that he was telling me about. You never know who might show up and help out, and you're giving up. And I'm sure you probably got some of your employees and some people that you know in your circle that are contributing, helping out with your skill set and helping out others that are less fortunate.
Absolutely.
And it's just like you do it out of the goodness of your heart, and the same way he does it out of good. Like they've done really well. So money's not a thing for him now, and he's really focused on trying to help as many people as possible and doing these little things. They mean a lot to so much, and they also mean a lot to him as well too. So I'm just saying, like, my point, I guess, is like when you get into those situations, you never know who you might cross paths with. And if you are asked a question, what you need for help, let them know exactly what you need for help. Don't be shy about it. You never know if they might fulfill that list for you, right?
Yeah, be upfront and transparent and honest. Yeah, hey, this is what we truly need. And I've got we're well on our
pay the bills and get the house done.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
But to kind of piggyback off that, one of my current clients. His name's Tony. He's fantastic. He's a very humble guy, but he's done very well for himself. Besides the point, but he heard that I'm doing this shelter, and he wants to contribute, and he owns a mechanical, he's a president of a mechanical company, and he said, hey, you know what? Let me see what I can do with all the mechanicals, and we'll see if we can knock that off the list. But it goes to show, hey, if you just ask and you ask the right people, then you'll get it.
Deep down, I think that most people do want to help.
Yep.
With whatever they can, whether it's monetary, whether it's skills, whether it's their time, they do want to help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and the people that can help and the people that want to give back, they will give back, whether it's to you or the first person that asks, they're going to help, so there's no sense in biting your tongue.
When was that? Did you do that like last year, or are you doing it now? The shelter?
Oh, well, we haven't started yet. We're still fundraising.
Okay.
We've got a gala in Toronto, I think May 17th.
Okay.
We've been reaching out to other builders and contractors, and I think Home Depot's giving a portion of they're giving discounted rates.
Have you set up do you want to shout out, or do you want anybody who was interested in helping, or is there a website to reach, or a phone number to reach, or just reach you?
It would be Eventbrite. Yeah. Just DM me or email me, and I'll put you in contact with the nonprofit.
Okay.
It's Spark and Play. That is the nonprofit that I've partnered with.
It's called what?
Spark and Play.
Spark and Play. Okay. No, I definitely want to put it in the show notes so anybody can reach out and talk to you about it, so you never know who's listening.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Yeah, they're a great couple. They live out in Alberta. But when I lived in Barrie, they were my neighbors across the road, and we clicked and we became good friends, and now they're just in a position where they want to give back and to put their energy into helping communities in need. I know they've got a project going in Grenada in the Caribbean. They just shipped down, I think, like a dozen computers and projectors and stuff to an elementary school that was in need of it. They're just so far behind with technology. And the world's changing, and it's changing fast, and without the proper equipment, you can't really teach the next generation. So they look at, they want to help anywhere and everywhere that they can. It's not just, housing. You know, they want the next generation to be successful, and they want to do what they can to give back to those communities. You know, we're talking about doing some other things in a couple other countries. We'll see what happens with that. At this point, it's just a conversation. But
You're excited about the prospect of possibly going?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll go anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go anywhere in the world and do what I love. Even if I'm just consulting, if I don't have my belt on, cool. But I'd love to have the opportunity to go somewhere and build something with my own hands and contribute that way. But
we did a show with Mike Velchek from Better Building Builds. Better Building Builds. I can't remember. I'm gonna butcher. I'm sorry, Mike. He did that. He picked up and went down South America.
Yep.
And he contributed to building a school. And he was there for a little bit of time, and he got to meet all the kids that he was building it for, the homes and everything like that. Small places and small little towns in the middle of nowhere, really the poorest of the poorest people ever.
Yep.
And he was just it was an experience, and he shared that experience on the show. And he plans on doing many more of them. He loved it. He absolutely loved getting down there. And it's a group of people that go down with skills and they help out.
Yep.
And he obviously knows how to build buildings, so he was contributing his skills that way. And there was other people that are coming from other industries, and they were contributing. It was amazing. It was amazing to hear that. Yeah.
Hey, if I got the opportunity, somebody, you know, if they emailed me or called me and said, "Hey Ed, you know, we could use your hand for a couple of weeks. We'll fly your crew down and we'll feed you," I'd be there the next day.
Done. Yeah.
I'd drop what I'm doing and go help. Well, to a certain extent, I would make sure that no clients are upset and
you give them a heads up and you just shift gears.
Yeah.
But I think they would be understanding, right?
Yeah. Well, all my clients, most of my clients right now, they're amazing people. A lot of them are returning clients I've done business with in the past, and we've got a good understanding of each other, and they know what my values are and what my intentions are. So I would say most of my clients wouldn't have an issue with it, but you can't just drop what you're doing and take off.
No,
but
still
we'll set it up for success, and
Yeah.
you know, if we got to shut down for a week or two and go bang up some structures for a community that's in need, say less.
For sure.
I'll go and do it. No question about it.
Because you'll never get that opportunity again. And
No.
You don't want to miss it, right?
No, well, it's. I wouldn't say it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, but it's a huge opportunity, and not many people would get that, you know. So I definitely respect. Is it Mike? You said his
Mike
name is
Valchek.
Yeah,
I'll send you the link so you can listen to it.
Yeah.
And I'll even send you the information because I put it in the show's notes. The whole show was about his experience going down there, and he gave me a heads up on it. He was on the show before a couple of times, and then he reached out, told me about it, and I was like, Mike, you got to come on the show after you go there to do it, right? So then you can experience, tell us how it was, right?
Yep.
And it was absolutely an amazing story to share, right? So
yeah. No, nothing but respect for the guy. That's amazing.
Yeah. No, and I think more and more, like even Ryan Buchanan, I know off mic we were talking about him.
Yep,
Ryan's been on the show. He talked a lot about going up to the territories, and he was working up there doing some projects, you know, not for charity or anything. He was just doing work wise, but he loved traveling and doing just different, meeting new people, building different structures, right?
Yep.
And that was good too. So there's so many. Three-Way the World. These little puppies. I'm speaking from experience. I've actually installed these and I love these. Three-way prefabricated inside drywall corner. The first one-piece solution for perfect, crisp corners every time. With Three-Way, you'll improve your quality, save on labor, and cut down on time. Traditional methods require 3 tapes, lots of sanding, and high skill. But with Three-Way corners, they install in just a fraction of the time with fewer steps. It is adjustable for any angle, reinforced to cover gaps, and designed to blend seamlessly into the corner. Say goodbye to pesky touch-ups and hello to flawless finishes. Try Three-Way today and revolutionize your drywall game. Perfect corners every time. To purchase or check out some how-to videos to see the installs in action, visit threeway.ca or connect with them at 306-514-3768 or drop them an email at threewaytheworld@gmail.com. Connect with me, TCL, and stop by the studio and get a free pack on us for anyone to try. And trust me, I'm telling you, you'll love it. This message is proudly supported by the Construction Life. Like there's so many people that are more than willing to help out. They just want to help out. They just want to figure it out. So, and then get to these places and give people a hand, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, I've looked up to Ryan. When I first started my business, I was 20, and just by fluke, we built a few houses side by side. But about a year after I met him, I learned that he was going out to the Yukon and bringing guys out there and doing his thing out there, and I thought that was a really cool opportunity. I've had some bids out that way. I'm not sure if it was in the Yukon. It might have been in like Yellowknife or something like that. Yeah. But I didn't shut down the offer, and just it didn't really work out at the time. I don't think I had the manpower that was willing to up and leave their families to go do that. But I've always respected Ryan. He's a good carpenter, and he's a good guy, he's got a great mindset, and his work ethic is fantastic. I'd like to work with him again one day.
He helped out a friend of mine. I had somebody reach out to me and asked me about, he was going through a little bit of a shit show with the build that he custom build. I won't get into the details, but then he asked me, listen, I need a carpenter, I need a framer, I need someone to help me out with some things here. And then I was like, give Ryan a call, man. Just give him a call. And they got along really well, and Ryan took care of him, which was great. So I like that. I like people reaching out and asking me, who would you recommend, who would you suggest? And then I make the suggestion, and all of a sudden it becomes a perfect construction Tinder connection. You know what I mean? Yeah, They all get along really well. They like each other. And then, the trade that I recommend steps up and takes care of it. And all of a sudden they're happy. They're just happy. And I think it's nice to see them have that reconnection back to what the construction industry is all really about, where it's people want to help out, because they were just burned. They were just burned by whether it was a bad contractor or just a bad situation or whatever the story was. It was nice to have that reassurance of a contractor coming in or a tradesperson coming in and reassuring, you know what, there are some good people in this industry.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I recommend it, and he goes there and great. I like that. It's wonderful.
That's awesome.
Where's the future, man? You're young. Have you thought? Is it in the radar? When you shut it down, you're like, that's it. That's the last cut I'm doing. That's the last swing of the hammer. We know that's never going to happen. It's always going to be right to the bitter end if you're going to make your own boss, right? Like,
no, I'm not. I won't be shutting down anytime soon.
No, you got a huge future ahead of you. But I'm just trying to figure out. Do you at that age? Do you think about, how am I going to build this to, and what am I going to build it to, and who's going to possibly take it over, and who should I hand it out? Like, these are all questions that probably rattle, right?
Hopefully my son takes it over, Theodore.
Is a son for sure, not a daughter?
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So I'm a patient guy, but I had to know. I had to prepare myself. Either one is a blessing, boy or girl, but I just have to prepare myself a little bit more if I was having a daughter.
You got plenty of time. You can make 2 or 3.
Pushover, man. Yeah. Oh, I hope to have 2 or 3. But hopefully one of my sons, or hey, maybe my daughter, whatever, takes over the business. To be honest with you, I'm not that I don't want to be not for hire, but I'd love to get to a position where, hey, we're buying lots and we're doing spec builds. I don't want to be a big subdivision developer. Like, I'd like to have my own unique kind of niche, and build what I want, what I'm speccing by anyways. But I think that's the direction that I'll go in the next couple of years. Not that I've had bad experiences or that but I just think being my own client and having full control is, it's definitely calling to me. Yeah. With that there's more liability, there's more overhead, but there's probably more reward too. If you do it right. If you do it wrong, then there's no reward other than a lesson. But I don't know, man. I after doing this one and having the control that I had with my own project, it really turned me on to doing some more. I think the environment for my teams, when I'm the contractor, I'm the homeowner, I'm the investor, I'm all those things. I think I create like the best environment for my team to produce a nice product. And it also gives them, some room to kind of do their own thing, not do their own thing, but hey, how are we doing this, Ed? I don't know. There's a pile of lumber. figure it out. You know, let's see where you go with this. And and I did that with one of my guys a few weeks ago, and it was just a railing, but you know, we had a bunch of hemlock left over, and I said, hey, I want a railing coming up the stairwell, and there's going to be like a 4-foot flat section. He's like, okay, well, how do you want me to do it? I said, I don't know, but I trust you. So I came back 5-6 hours later, and you know, he's like, oh, Ed, you know, sorry it's taken so long. I was like, no, dude, like what you're doing is amazing. Like it's way better than I thought. Like I just thought that you were gonna rip, you know, 2x2s and face screw it and plug it or whatever, but no, he fitted everything in. He hit all the screws, like you don't see any screws. Wow. He ripped all the pickets and hit all the screws from the underside and put a cap on the top so you didn't see the screws there. Like he really went above and beyond, and it was a very proud moment for me. But there's also that appreciation, you know, hey, this guy's a true craftsman. He's not just, he's not here for a paycheck, and he's not here because, you know, he was dealt whatever cards, now he's a carpenter, and you know what I mean? Like, he takes pride in his work, and he's very passionate about it. And, it just, you know, things like that make me want to create, a workplace where they can have their own kind of canvas and do their own thing and shine a bit more than just showing up and saying, hey, no, here's the scope, here's the plans. It's going to be built exactly like this, you know. And with building for homeowners, you might, you know, maybe they'll come and they'll say, oh yeah, like the railing's nice, but we didn't want that. You know, so I don't know. It was something, you know, those little things like that. I really
give them the environment. That's all.
I trust them, and I'm proud of them, and I like to create an environment where they can be not just carpenters, but actually like craftsmen, and they can put their own little touch on things. And hey, maybe if it's my forever home, I might be a little more particular, but this one's not my forever home, and the next one won't be my forever home. They'll be. Well, we'll see where we settle, but
there's opportunities on this particular build that we can maybe try to do some tinkering with the railing, like you just did, right? With him, and other sections of it, we might be able to do something different, learn from it, try something new, right?
Exactly, yeah. Oh, and there's some lessons that I took away from it too. You know, as far as like the layout of the place, like it's not a big place, but I wish the one big. I really wish that I took like 9 inches away from the mechanical room and just opened up the kitchen a little bit more. Like I've got my 36 inches all around the island, but I wish that I could have got it to the 40 inch. Just little things like that, you know. But they're not always things that you catch, especially when you're doing like, you know, like the last place we framed was like 6,000 square feet. Like the kitchen living room area is like 30 by 40. So like you have all this room to play with cabinetry and whatever. Right. But, kind of I guess on a way bigger scale, very, very similar. It was a hand cut roof with a bunch of like, I think there were 8 by 16 by like 36 foot glue lambs. And then we put tongue and groove Douglas fir on top of that. And then we put a rigid insulation, and then we framed a roof on top of that. So like very, very unique project. And they're the same, but they're very different, you know. But I love working with big timbers. And I love doing things that are not like your traditional stick build or you know, like your boring gable end or you know, hip roof or whatever. I like doing those unique projects. But having that control and being able to create an environment for my guys to be true craftsmen is kind of what I'm seeking now. So if I play my cards right over the next couple of years, and maybe we'll get into another spec build and allow them to start shining and play again. But for now we've got I think we're waiting on like 5 or 6 foundations after half load. Some are smaller, you know, like we've got some.
It's April.
Big garages.
It's building season.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely building season. Which is crazy, you know, like we were saying earlier in the show. Like I don't know, I didn't know what I was gonna do in January. Like there was a couple weeks where I was like, oh fuck,
And then all of a sudden a month just changes.
Well, I went on vacation. I was over in Europe for a couple months.
What part?
And I was in the Azores.
You went to the Azores?
Oh, yeah.
What's with the Azores connection?
Pardon me?
What's with the Azores connection?
My buddy Cam just wanted to go.
Oh, really?
So no problem.
Which islands did you go to? Probably San Miguel?
Ponta Delgada.
Yeah, San Miguel. Yeah, St. Michael.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I was in Lisbon. Went down to Barcelona. Went to the Canary Islands. I've been going to the Canary Islands for about 5 years now.
Nice.
We went to Madrid, back to Lisbon, back to Madrid, back to Canary Islands. Took a ferry over to Tenerife.
You going to the Canary Islands with empty suitcases?
I wanted the backpack.
No, I'm just making a joke, man.
Why? Oh, what?
Just havens, like financial havens, right?
Oh, yeah.
Empty suitcases, right?
Yeah,
That's all, right?
No, I went with a full backpack.
Good. It's good that you're doing all the traveling, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, thanks. You know what, man? After working, like the winter's tough on the trades that are mostly working outside, and after breaking down the numbers, it just staying busy, but I'm not making the money that I want to make in the dead of winter. So I just decided, hey, you know what? Instead of stressing out and freezing my ass off, I'm gonna go on vacation and keep the guys busy, keep the food on the table for them. But I'm leaving.
Good for you, man.
So I've been doing that. Yeah, 2020 was my last winter truly working outside, or 2021, I would say.
Every winter you've been disappearing?
Oh, yeah.
Take off?
3 months. This was a short one. It was, I think it was 7 weeks I was gone. This coming winter, we'll see what happens.
So you're just hopping from, you're just picking a start point and an end point. You're just going circumventing. That's just, really, yeah?
Yeah.
Looking for a roof that lasts and a team you can trust? Call Homestar Roofing, your local family-run roofing experts. From shingles to cedar, slate, to metal, flat roofs to skylights, they do it all. Residential or commercial, big or small, need roof repairs, consulting, soffit, fascia, gutters, or eavesdrops? They've got you covered, literally. With affordable pricing and a reputation for quality, Homestar Roofing is building roofs and building trust, one project at a time. Visit them on social at homestar_roofing or visit them online, www.homestarroofing.ca. Or even call them at 647-380-0625 for your free quote today. That's homestarroofing.ca, where your roof is their reputation. This message is proudly supported by the Construction Life. That's interesting.
Love it, man. Yeah, I love going over to Europe. The food's good. The wine's good. The environments, the buildings are amazing to look at. Even like being up north and working on the houses that I work on, they're incomparable. You can't compare them to what's going on over there with the old churches.
I know, but it's hundreds of years, centuries.
Yeah, there's the history there.
Yeah, right. And they build things a certain way, but it's nice to experience it in person.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the same as being online and scrolling through social media and seeing these things, right? You got to see it in person, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely an opportunity that nobody should be passing up. I think that everybody should travel as much as they can. Not everybody's as fortunate. I'm very lucky to be able to have the life that I have and the freedom that I have. But if anybody's got the opportunity to travel, I would not shoo them away from doing that.
At any age, I would say, you don't want to wait, just go.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Make it work. And it's kind of funny that winter's forcing you to do it.
Yep. Well, you know what? I
smart.
I do think when my business was bigger, it was stress. But winter was still a bit of the slower season. Like I had to get out of the country to like get away from my stresses and kind of.
It makes sense though, because you have stress and no money's coming in. But if you've kind of had a good year, take a little bit of it, travel.
Yeah. Well, and it's cheaper to live over there than it is here. You know, so if I've got to cover my cost of living, I might as well do it where I can get a good meal for €10. And a bottle of wine. Like, why not?
Yeah, wine's really cheap there. That's the problem. It's actually cheaper than water, I think.
Beer's cheaper and wine is cheaper. Yeah. Well, the cheaper wine anyway.
Than water, right?
Yeah, I think when in the Canaries, I think it was like €4 for a 5 gallon, or a 5 liter jug of water, and for a magnum of wine is like $2.50.
You're like, well, we're drinking wine.
Oh yeah,
Simple as that, right?
I was very dehydrated for the last 7 weeks, but
Oh man, I'm just curious about tools. I'm assuming you're a DeWalt. No, huh?
no, Milwaukee.
You're Milwaukee.
You know what? I'm all over, to be honest with you. Like
What's
I
the
would
crew?
say
Milwaukee.
some Makita, some DeWalt. Yeah, we've got the whole rainbow.
Really, huh?
Yeah, like I love the Bosch miter saw.
The Axial.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
I
what
think
like,
that's
man.
the Cadillac of chop
I know you
saws.
can't tell that to the other boys though, right?
No. I don't let my guys. I don't supply that one for daily use. If I'm using a chop saw, I'm bringing out the Bosch. I think the DeWalt chop saw is bulletproof.
Yeah.
I think it's a great sight saw, and,
I think so
it
too.
can take some wear and tear.
You could throw it in the back of the truck, and you could throw it on the ground, and you could set it up.
Yeah,
I get it.
and it's still going to cut true.
I wouldn't do that with the Bosch though.
No, and that's my point. I had when I first bought it, I had somebody drop it in the mud, and I was doing. I think I was doing some trim work at the time, but I couldn't get my cuts to be perfectly at a perfect 90. So I got it repaired, and then after that I was like, you know what? No, you guys can use the DeWalt. And nothing against the DeWalt saw. It's just it's superior when it comes to resilience.
Job site.
That's all it is. You
Yeah,
know, it's
job site.
it can take a beating, and that's why I provide it. But
Milwaukee's miter is like.
It's okay.
That's what I mean.
It's okay. It's mediocre. It's okay.
Milwaukee should just stay in their HVAC plumbing lane.
Yeah.
They're
You know
really
what?
good at that.
I got Milwaukee because they were the first ones to come out with the big batteries, and they were the most powerful at the time.
Yeah, and they had a lot
in my opinion.
What is it? The M? What the hell would they?
M12.
Yeah, the M rip your arm off kind of thing if you're using a drill, a hole hog.
Or yeah. They're the 12 amp, the 12 hour, or
Crazy,
whatever
man.
it is.
Crazy.
So that's why I went with Milwaukee. I was a DeWalt guy. I still have I've got multiples of DeWalt everything. They're just in my shop. I don't really pull them out often for myself.
Table saw? You went Bosch or you went Sawsop?
I do have a Bosch.
Okay.
Lately, I've been using the cordless Milwaukee.
Okay.
Out of convenience, the batteries work in it. There's not always power on site, or I don't want to listen to a loud generator. So
What does it give you? What's the cut? 24 or more? Just over 24 inches or 25?
24.
Yeah, 24 inches. Yeah. Not bad.
It doesn't have the power, obviously, as it's, like a cordless worm drive versus the original skill saw worm drive. Like you got to compare apples to apples.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I'm not loyal to one company. I love my nailers are Hitachi or Metabo. Those are definitely my go-to.
I would say they're the Formula One of nailers. I don't care what anybody wants to argue. If you want to start going cordless and all this other shit, that's fine. But I think Hitachi, Metabo, I think they're amazing nailers.
Yep. Well, I think even like for budget friendly, like I think they're the NR90s. They're like a few $100.
I've heard of that as well too.
They're the lightest gun on the market aside from the pass load. I love those. Like I've got 6 or 7 of them. I've got a couple of I don't know what the model number is, but it's like the A4, the A5 head on a stick nailer. Like they're those are bulletproof. I shot my foot with one of those a couple of years ago. I went through the top, out the bottom. Powerful gun to say the least.
From the steel composite toe or something, or
right behind it.
Whoa!
Yeah,
it went through your foot.
Right through my foot. Yep.
It didn't go in between the toes, eh?
Nope. Right between the bones. I didn't break any bones.
But
still hurt. Oh yeah. Oh, I felt it. I actually Did
it swell? It swelled all up, right? It was.
Well, I had to get it surgically removed. So
you couldn't just get the pry bar and.
Well, I got the pry bar under my boot, and then I pried my foot off the wall. I lost my balance, fell off a 12-foot wall, broke my other foot. It was a rough morning. This was before 9 a.m. And so yeah, I shot my foot. And
were you just in a nailing pattern? Like you just didn't realize you were going, and then all of a sudden you just hit it?
So we were installing the second floor system, and I had like 4 or 5, maybe 6 projects on the go at that time. I had a project manager, and at the time I wanted to be on the tools. I wanted to work in the business, not on it. So I hired other people to do that for me.
Yeah.
There was some nonsense going on at another job site up in Huntsville, and I'm in Thornbury, and my mind was 150 kilometers north, and I've got a nail gun with my finger on the trigger, and I'm shifting joists, and I bent down to set the joist in place, and I bounced it off my foot, bounced the safety off my foot, and
you didn't hit the bone, right? You were lucky you didn't hit the bone.
No, right in between my big toe and was it my index or middle toe or whatever, however you want to label it. So right in between, and then I was just like, oh fuck. My guys popped their head up. They're like, what's going on? I was like, I shot my foot.
First you had to pry your foot off?
Yeah, so they passed me a nail bar, and I was like, no, boys, like it's not through my sole, it's through my foot. And they're like, oh shit. So they gave me a flat bar instead of the cat's paw.
Really?
Yeah, so that I could pry my whole foot off of the plate. And so I pried my foot off. I lost my balance, fell off the wall, broke my other foot. And the guys picked me up, put me in my truck, got me to the hospital in Collingwood, and they put me out and they had to remove the nail.
How did they remove it? With a crowbar?
Well, no, the nail was still in my foot when I got to the hospital.
No, I know, but they had to remove the nail from your foot at the hospital, right?
I'm not sure. I was sleeping. They put me out.
They didn't tell you? Like, would you have been holding on to a pry bar and go, listen, just use this, man?
Well, I told him, I said, when I got there, I was like, I got my tools in the truck. Yeah, if you need anything, let me know.
I'm wondering what they pulled out, like a $5,000 kind of cat's paw or something like that. Their version of surgical, stainless steel version or something.
The new and improved stiletto. I don't know.
A chrome-looking kind of grinder. Just cut the head off and cut the auto and pull it out or something like that. Sorry.
I'm not. That's all good.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. Like I said, I was
gone. You're out.
asleep. Yeah.
So you wake up with both feet bandaged up.
No, it was just the one foot. So I woke up. I messaged my project managers like, bring me my truck or get me out of here, whatever. And I went to get up, and I realized I could barely walk on my right foot. And so they came in and they x-rayed it, and they said that there was nothing wrong. So
lucky.
I hopped in the truck. I brought the nail with me back to the job site. I'm back on the job site by 3:00. I had the guys help me up to the joist that I was setting, and I nailed that fucking nail in, and then I got home. But the next morning, man, I woke up and I was in tears. Like, it was so painful. My right foot, not my left. Yeah, the nail or the foot that I shot that
hurt more.
It hurt less. It was my broken
foot.
Broken ankle.
What point did you? Oh, you broke the ankle.
Yeah. So the girl I was seeing at the time, she's like, "You're not going to work. We're taking you to the hospital."
What do you mean? That was an option on the table in the morning? You're going to work?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I'm
a broken ankle on one.
And I didn't know. Right? Wow. I just knew it hurt. You know. And I'm not. I don't. For myself personally, like I don't believe in sick days. Okay, I don't believe in not showing up and doing what I said I was going to do because of pain or whatever. Like I'm going to fight through and do what I said I was going to do. But anyway, so she took me to a different hospital. They x-rayed it, and sure enough, I broke my ankle. So they put me in an air boot, and pretty sure, I think I was supervising for the next couple of days after that. But
how long were you in the boot for? Probably 6 to 8?
Oh no, I after a month I bought lace up boots, and I just tightened the shit out of my boots. It came a point where, hey, the second floor is done. It's a big steel structure, so there's a lot of infill. Like we're packing out 12-inch steel beams with LVLs, and I think there was like 600 hangers in that floor system. So the guys were banging at that for a couple of weeks, got the floor sheeted, got the walls up, and now it's time for roof. And that's where I shine. Roof's my favorite part. Building boxes over and over again gets boring after you've done 100 or so homes. So I live for the roof. I love the roof. And that I went to Walmart.
Went back up there and you started working on the roof?
Pardon me?
You started working on the roof?
Yeah. I went to Walmart, got a cheap pair of lace-up boots, and I tightened them as tight as they could go. And I went up on the roof, and we were setting trusses. And
You're still feeling pain at this point, right?
oh yeah. I had some painkillers, but whatever they prescribed me, I don't know. But it helped a little bit. But I found too, once I started moving, it felt better. When it was stiff in the boot, it was so sensitive, So I think it was definitely premature. I probably should have waited a few weeks longer, and I shouldn't have climbed up on to a roof. But
did you go back to the doctor, and the doctor's like asking you, so, okay, how's the rest coming along? And meanwhile, a week before, you're on the roof building away.
Oh, I didn't go back to the doctor.
You didn't go
I was
back
too busy. I had so many projects on there, like it didn't matter.
You're perfectly fine, or you're good? You're good now?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Yeah?
The year before, I separated my shoulder. I was longboarding down a hill in Creemore, and I was probably going 50K an hour, and I got the speed wobbles, and I hopped off the board, and for some reason, I thought I could run 50 kilometers an hour. And I did like a front flip into the ditch, and my shoulder caught like the other side of the ditch coming back up. It was steep. The ditch was steep, so it just stopped me dead in my tracks. And I was supposed to go for an MRI, or I did go for an MRI.
So your shoulder went right into...
Yeah, right into, it would have been sod or grass, but it stopped me dead in my tracks. But I went for an MRI a couple weeks later, and I was supposed to get surgery on it, but I didn't.
You let it heal itself?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to raise your arm. Your arm would have been stuck on the down position.
Yeah, well, it was in a sling for a few weeks.
Okay.
I was kind of just a site supervisor at that point. I was running the forklift or doing whatever I can. I wasn't going to be sitting at home.
This is well away from the foot injury?
It was a year before. Yeah, so it would have been August.
Okay.
August, I separated my shoulder, and then the following April, I messed up both my feet.
So is it becoming an annual thing, Ed, or what's going on here?
You know what? It's been a good 18 months, Manny.
I'm not trying to jinx it.
No.
It seems like it's an annual thing or something, right?
Yep. No, there's always something. I fell off a ladder. It's a
physical career, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, the longboard's a different story.
Yeah. Well, you got to stay young.
True.
Once you stop, you're dead, right? So
True.
I fell in love with skateboarding when I was like 4 or 5 years old. My dad took me to Tony Hawk came to Toronto, and he did kind of like a nitro circus thing. I think it was called like Hawk Jam or whatever. And after going to that show, I fell in love with skateboarding. So that was a big kind of I'd pass my time skateboarding, and my dad would take me if I did well in school that week. He'd take me to whatever skate park I wanted to go to in the GTA. At the time, we lived in Ajax. I was born in Scarborough. We lived in Ajax for 10 years. Then I moved up to Creemore. So lots of cool skate parks in and around the GTA.
If you are a business owner, subcontractor, or client, you know that trust in this industry is huge, and Contract App helps build that. Not only do they get a solid contract for your projects, they built in an e-signature tool for you and your clients. The contract dashboard also has a digital live log that records every step of the project, plus a rate and review system for both the contractor and the client. This means more transparency and accountability for everyone. Stop running your business on an estimate and a handshake. Protect yourself with Contract App. Book your free demo or sign up today at www.contractapp.ca and use promo code TCL to get your first month for free. This message is proudly supported by The Construction Life. I thought I saw a post recently where it could have been California. They were bulldozing over skate parks, getting rid of them. Did I see that? Like in America, they were getting rid of some of the skate parks. And I was having a conversation with an architect friend of mine, and I hate disruptive architecture. And what I mean by that, benches that have knobs in them. And
sure. Yep.
so homeless people can't sleep there. Skaters can't ride their rails on there. I hate all that shit. I can't stand it. I want to see rail marks. I want to see these things being used. I miss seeing skaters on the streets. I miss all that shit because I think that they have a purpose. It makes sense in society. But I saw a video where they were literally bulldozing over a skateboard park, a concrete one, covering it up, filling it in. And I was like, why are you guys being so stupid here, man? I don't understand. Like, we want kids to be physically active and doing this and going around and. Well,
it'd be one thing too if the park wasn't being used and they were going to put in another public area, like hey, maybe like a traditional park.
I just saw the image of a bulldozer moving all the earth over the concrete, and I'm like, someone took time and people wanted to use that. But there's one in here in Mississauga area. There's a big one there by the 403. There's a big one. I think it's still it's active, very active in the summer months, right?
Okay,
but yeah, I mean, like I'm big on street hockey. Like they outlaw that bullshit here in this area, and I can't stand it. I'm like,
they don't let you play street hockey? I've never heard of that.
It's prohibited here in all the Toronto area, all the areas. You can't play street hockey anymore.
So what, you have to rent a rink for like ball hockey?
You got to go somewhere.
That's ridiculous. Huh.
Growing up as a kid, street hockey was everywhere.
Yeah.
I called it the natural speed bump.
Well, who pays for those roads though? Taxpayers.
Yeah, I know.
Right? So why can't the taxpayers?
Why can't we have two nets on
play ball hockey?
Car and then move the nets and then let the car go by? I don't understand. Yeah. I think it's all about physical activity.
Yeah, like Wayne's World car.
That's exactly what it is. It's a natural speed bump. It kept you vigilant of like, okay, there's kids on the street, so I'm not going to drive faster. We don't need to put those stupid speed bumps on there.
Yep.
I can't stand those. I'd rather have kids on the street playing hockey. But I'd rather have skaters in the park or even I'd rather have all that shit. I prefer all that stuff. It doesn't bug me, man. And I'm an old white guy. You know
I definitely I'd understand, downtown Toronto, like where there's such a heavy volume of traffic, but like in the suburbs of Oakville, like why not?
But they're allowing stupid e-scooters and all this other shit to go between the sidewalk and the bike lane and the roadway.
Yeah.
They get to pick and choose whatever they want to do. And I'm like, what's more dangerous, man? Or a skater who knows how to actually do and move around everything and go to a park and do that shit? Or this e-bike idiot that's just driving around everywhere in all three forms of options of travel?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the. I mean, like I don't mind the bike lanes. I think, with the e-bikes and the scooters and like
pick one.
Yeah, pick one.
Plus, I also think cyclists should all have license plates on them.
Yep. I agree with that.
If the Highway Traffic Act applies to them, then they're required to be plated and helmeted.
Yep.
But they're not.
I think they're required to be helmeted. I'm pretty.
Depends.
Yeah.
You can get away with it, but definitely not plated.
No.
No. They should be plated. I mean, I have a motorcycle. I'm plated.
Yeah.
So it's like you're a bicycle using the same roadways and rules, and you're applied.
Up in Simcoe, some parts of Simcoe County, like you're allowed to drive your ATV or your dirt bike on the road. It needs to be plated. You're not allowed to.
So why is all of a sudden cyclists and e-bikes don't need plates then?
Well, it may help them be accountable too if there's a traffic violation or if there's an accident or whatever. I remember when I was in high school, before I left high school, me and my buddy were driving downtown, and a cyclist ran into his truck. They called the cops, and I forget what the actual how everything went down, but they blamed him for not the cyclist was blamed my buddy for not kind of being aware. And it's like, well, dude, like you can't just be weaving in and out of traffic, but yeah, it definitely depends on the person. Like I know that there's accountable people out there that are going to kind of own up to their shortcomings or their mistakes or whatever, right? But
if you're building all these different versions of mode of transport, and that one has a lot of latitude to do whatever they want, that makes no sense to me.
No, it makes no sense to me.
If there's bike lanes there, then get in the bike lanes and stay in the bike lanes, right?
No, I think the license plate for a bike is not a bad idea.
I think it should be implemented, but I think they're doing it just so then people can get away with that argument, right? But I'm also not a fan of runners on the road.
No, neither am I. Yeah.
That's just like, it takes one person not paying attention that's going to take out these people. And also runners on the road for the most part are always running in a horizontal, perpendicular to the roadway.
Yep.
They never run right behind each other. And sometimes the cyclists do the exact same things too. So it's like, I'm sorry, but you don't own the road. You're a pedestrian.
Yep.
And if I just put my head down, not pay attention, I'm taking you guys out like bowling pins.
Oh, especially on the roads that are like a higher speed limit too, right? Like you've got a jogger coming down the road and they've got headphones in, and next thing you know, they're clipped by maybe a mirror, maybe by the right hand side of a truck or whatever, and hey, they're not running anymore. Like I definitely think there's a safety concern with having anything but motorized vehicles on the road.
Then get on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And I understand that runners, and listen, I respect runners. They don't want to run on the sidewalk because there's unevenness going on the sidewalk, and they can throw an angle. I get that, but then go to a running path somewhere. Go to a stadium or something like that.
Sure, yeah. Go run in the park.
Do that.
Yeah.
But on the roadway, you're like, it takes one. Listen, not everybody's paying attention on the roads these days. Like it's easy to hit the curb or hit somebody else, and now you got pedestrians on the road. So that's that's politics, man.
No, even the driving on the 401 down here today is holy fuck. It's like Mario Kart. And people, it's like I'm surprised I didn't see a shell come behind me. Like it was wild.
A shell coming behind you. It's true, man. I know it's very. All right, I got to do the 12 questions, Ed. Engel Homes. You can get them on IG. Engel Custom Homes. Engel, right?
Yep.
EngelCustomHomes.com. Ed at EngelCustomHomes.com. 705-718-1184. A person you would trade places with for a day.
That's a good question. Manny.
Huh?
I don't know. You get to talk to a bunch of interesting people. It's warm in here. It might be
a little cozy sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
You got AC in here in the summer, don't you?
There is, yeah. But they control the temperature, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad spot for a day. For a day, you know.
Actually, I've had a few people say that. Yeah. Guilty pleasure.
Wine and cigars.
That's what I was having last night. What's your least favorite tool?
Sawzall, probably.
You're going back to framing. I know, I get it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't know. I'd rather use a chainsaw or something, even if I'm cutting something out or fixing a mistake or something. I don't know. I think it's the reciprocation and the vibration in both your hands, and like, especially if it's your own mistake. It's one thing if it's somebody else's mistake or whatever, but when it's your own mistake, I really hate the fucking Sawzall.
The Sawzall feels that much heavier, right?
Yeah.
Biggest risk you ever took?
Probably going out on my own. I was advised against it by some family members and
family
some,
too, huh?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Well, you know how family is. They want you to play it safe, and they don't want to see anything blow up in your face.
They don't want you to succeed.
I think that's another part of it. Like,
it's a byproduct.
You've got a lot of acquaintances in your life, and hey, maybe they don't want to see you do well. But now that I've established myself, my family is very supportive.
They changed the tune.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't say like my immediate family was supportive from day one.
The extended family.
It was my extended family that's like, hey, well, maybe you're not ready. You're 20. Whatever. Go work for somebody. And I, in a hindsight, I do wish maybe I did find a new mentor to work for, and get a little bit more experience under my belt. But, kind of on the opposite end of that, I learned a lot on my own dime, and I've made a lot of mistakes as a subcontractor or as an employer, or you learn very quickly.
Yep.
Especially when you're on the hook for the financial side of things and for the time and for all that shit, right? So I'd say the biggest risk would be going out on my own. But
best compliment you ever got?
I would say that I am a reminder of my father. I've had some clients that my dad worked for in the past, and to this day, my dad is the hardest worker I've ever met. He's passed away now,
yeah.
But I've never met anybody that has worked like my dad, or moved like my dad, or lifted or shifted or, ran a job site like my father. So that'd be the ultimate compliment for me.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Favorite beverage?
Wine. Any type of red wine.
Any type of red wine?
Yeah, I'm not picky.
What never fails to make you laugh?
Kids falling off bikes. I don't know. It's I don't know. You think about it, and I
don't think you're an adult unless you're a kid that fell off a bike.
Yeah. I think I don't want them to get hurt, but like,
just falling off a bike.
Yeah. Never fails to make me laugh.
I like that one. What worst piece of advice you ever got?
Worst piece of advice I ever got. I've gotten a lot of bad advice, Manny.
Which one stands out?
You know what? I don't even know.
People are always tripping, saying something.
I would kind of circle back to my biggest risk and say not going out on my own.
Yeah.
Hey, stay in your comfort zone and be an asset to a company and collect a salary and kind of be imprisoned to that.
Yeah.
There's my guys do it, but I don't think that they're stuck with me or anything either, right? Like they can live their life and they make good money and you need those guys to be successful. Like I'd be nowhere without my team.
Of course.
But for me personally, I don't think that there was any other way than me going out on my own.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt one day?
I think heavy equipment. We were talking about that earlier. I love like being a crane operator or something like that.
It seems soothing. Am I right, or is it stressful?
Well, I think what your machine can lift and what its limitations are. You know what I mean? And there's accidents, there's freak accidents. I probably wouldn't want to be up in like a high rise crane operator's position. I've got a buddy that does that, and he loves it. But I would rather be on the floor or on the ground.
A big toy on the ground.
Yeah. Like if I had a 100-ton mobile crane, I'd be in heaven.
Favorite curse word?
Fuck.
What's your favorite vehicle? Any mode of transportation?
1966 to 1969 SS Nova.
Nova.
Yeah, I love the Novas. My dad had a 69 Camaro. I love the old Camaros as well.
Nova's nice too.
I don't know. I like the Novas a little bit more. I can't tell you. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's really just the body that's different,
it's
right?
Nice, yeah.
But
they probably built it off the same platform, no?
Oh yeah. Well, the Nova, the Camaro, the Chevelle, the Chevette, they're all really the same. It's the body.
Last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates?
I'd probably go home, go back to Earth. I mean, you're not ready. I don't know. I feel I love my life, and I definitely don't want to go to the next one. Nobody does, but
yeah. Not ready yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, hey, can you help me with this? This wall's out of plumb or something. Last carpenter that came in fucked it up, so I've been waiting on you, Ed. Yeah.
Ed, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate your time and being on the show and sharing, man. I really believe it's a pleasure meeting you and talking to you, man.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, I had a great time, and thanks for having me, man.
Say, I'll see if I can make my way up there. I'll try to connect you with Greg as well because he's up in that area or whatever. But
yeah, absolutely.
No. Keep up the good work, man. It's amazing. And send me, I'd love to see the pictures of the place there, man. I want to see
absolutely.
the hemlock and everything like that. So
thank you so much.
Thanks, man. That's it. We're out of here.